October 2023. This is the S&P 500 E-Futures Mini on the 2000 tick chart on the NinjaTrader 8 platform. You can look down at the descriptions below to see where I thought I saw setups as well as where I took my trades. This is what the market looked like today. It looked like kind of a M pattern, but here's the pre-market highs and the pre-market lows. There's no real economic data to cause any big things to be cautious about today. I just saw pretty much a range, then it sold off in almost two legs. I tried to make this fit inside one leg, but it never really looked very clean. So it ended up being like this orange channel. Then there's kind of this transparent green channel, but then inside there was also this red channel. So it's just a little bit jumbled here. Then it had a rally, which I try to capture in this purple channel. And then another sell-off with two legs. Well, one leg, but I couldn't quite get it to fit either. So I had this orange channel and then this green channel. So you could actually see it in the bigger picture as one leg down, one leg up, and another leg down. I took a total of 4 trades today. They were 3 winners and 1 loser. The loser trade was actually what I call a no reason trade. That was just emotional. I lost it and I entered a trade with no real good reason. There's no justification, nothing. There was no setup, and I'll get to it when I get there. So I'm just going to go through the trades hopefully pretty quickly. So this is the pre-market. Pre-market, it just looks choppy. And in this pre-market, before the open, I'm looking at this and I think it's going to be a range day. At first, I was thinking, even though it's pre-market highs and pre-market lows, I thought pretty much prices were just going to stay kind of within something like this. So I did make one leg down, pull back, and in a measured move down, but I'm not around to trade this. So the first setup I see, actually, I see this and I actually just try to link up something. I saw one leg, probably a spike in the channel, but there was no trade here, especially in the open. I did see this, and I actually drew this trend line to match and touch these 3 points. I wasn't too confident that the highs was here because it only touched twice right now, and it didn't really quite reach the top. The first setup I saw was a new high. So first entry long pulls back, creates a second entry long. Now, the second entry long has a pretty decent signal bar, and it's the first break of this yellow channel. But even then, I wasn't sure the yellow channel was this big, but I do know it was a break of this trend line. So if this is some kind of channel, whether it was up here or where this midline was or slightly above, let's say it was about right here, where this midline is, that's where the channel is. I just knew that there was a break here and it was probably going to come back in to test the high. So when I first saw this, I thought, okay, it's also bouncing off the middle of the trading range for the pre-market. Now, maybe that's not good enough of a reason to take a trade, but I did see this, and I thought it was like breaking out. It could make at least one push up, pull back later, and then make another push up. So I thought this was the start of the first push up to try to get into this yellow channel. I didn't take the trade though, but it turns out it would have worked out pretty well. Then it starts moving back down, and I'm pretty sure it's out of this yellow channel now, and I'm playing on this, well, eventually this orange channel, and I just had this trend line drawn here. Comes back, and I actually had this top a little bit more shallow, but it gets corrected as you'll see. There's no clean entries that I like, that I feel safe on. Plus, when prices are moving down, I'm mainly looking for shorts, and you do have a new low here, first entry short. Technically, you have a second entry short right here, but I didn't like the signal bar. It's a good signal bar, but I didn't like the way it was just setting up. It looked a little congested, so I passed up on it. You do technically have a lower high here. Again, I saw this in real time, but I wasn't thinking much of it. I came to here, I saw this new low, first entry short, pulls up, then comes back down, makes a double bottom, and this is where it makes the second entry short. I thought it was kind of like a hidden second entry short, but nothing I felt confident taking a trade off of. So then continue moving down. It gets a little choppy, and clearly we're in a bearish range now, or bearish trend, and it's breaking out of the pre-market lows. Prices then continue moving. Now it's starting to exit and violate this orange down channel, and I'm not really sure how valid this orange down channel is because I didn't like this this much time spent outside, but it is seeming to respect the lows somewhat. And I did see a new high here. It's the first entry long pullback. I saw a potential second entry long failure setting up, but this isn't a very good signal bar. And I did have this red line drawn as a trend, but not necessarily a channel yet because I was still playing this orange channel coming down. So to take a short, I wasn't sure if there was going to be a bounce and come back up to this top, after it broke out, drops a little bit, and maybe it comes back to the top. So I wasn't really sure what I was looking at. So I just felt it's a little congested. I wasn't going to do anything. But I did draw this red channel. But again, as I said, I didn't know if this red channel is going to dominate as a resistance or is it going to still come back to this green one. So ended up not taking a trade. I'm okay with that. Comes down, it breaks out of this orange channel. And this is actually the first trade that I take. See a new high, it's a first entry long, pull back. This is a decent signal bar for second entry long. And I thought, okay, there's a second entry long, but then this is a failure that's about to occur. So it's first entry long, second entry long confirmed below the EMA. I kind of like this. Also, remember, I'm playing off this orange channel, even though I do have this red line here. I was thinking this is rejection. It's probably going to come back down. Enter early, one here, one tick there, and flash down. I was able to get out. And I actually had a runner on this one, so I actually dragged it one tick below. So it was one tick above here at the time. But I was going to survive, and then it comes back, takes me out, and then continued up back on down on its way. Price then continue moving. I do see a new low here. It's a first entry short, second entry short. This is right here, confirmed second entry short. This is a decent signal bar for second entry short, but the setup is above the EMA. And now the trigger bar has confirmed the second entry short. I just didn't really like the way it looked because I wanted this to ideally have closed red and maybe closed below. Then I would have placed an entry maybe one tick below had this guy been red, or just one tick above here, hoping to get a better entry. So saw it, left it alone. However, I did see a lower high here. So the first entry short, second entry short. I thought this was a possible trade. Close below the EMA, there's enough room to the bottom, and there was already two clean legs. One measure move up, pull back, a second leg up, and then it looked like it was attempting one more time, but it failed. So I thought this is a probably decent setup, confirming the second entry short, and it's probably going to go back into this orange channel. I didn't take the trade though, and then I did see a new high, first entry long, second entry long. There's a second entry long failure. What I really liked about this second entry long failure is you have a second entry long here. So after this one, you have people thinking it's probably starting to reverse, because if they're playing the orange channel like I was, they're noticing that it's not coming back down to the bottom of the orange channel. So they might be thinking it's time to get in for possible reversal. But the way I saw it was, yes, it's a second entry long. It's below the EMA. I don't like that though. It continues up, it flashes. So definitely, I feel like, okay, if I was going to take a trade, I want a higher low confirmation. Now, this one, I think, trapped a bunch of people, because after this, you probably don't think this is a good enough signal bar. But once this happens, you're probably waiting for it to break above the EMA. You do see a break above the EMA. You probably entered right here, one tick above, or you maybe moved it back because you think the reversal is happening. But I was still a little suspicious. I like that it ticked above, it traps everybody, then it flashes down. Not only does it flash down, it breaks a tick below. So now it feels like a definite trap for the bulls or people who bought. Then it would have stopped you out for sure if you kept your stop kind of disciplined and down here. Prices then continue moving down. So it's a failed second entry long, but again, I wasn't 100% sure, but I did notice it, and I thought like that's kind of an interesting setup, trying to be more cognizant and see things hopefully in real time and recognize it better to have taken advantage of this. Prices then continue moving. So now it's bouncing up and away. And here I'm looking, and I actually drew the bottom right here, this bottom as a support. So here it's getting confusing for me because I thought I was in this yellow orange channel. It breaks out, it's chopping around. So then in between, I had this red line as a potential resistance, but it also broke out. And of course, I would drew this as a potential channel, but it didn't look like this red channel was fitting too well. Then I came up with this green channel. I like that it was touching below. And the tops was a little bit iffy because I noticed throughout the day, depending on how you drew it, you could have made it fit several ways, more shallow, more steep, depending on how you drew it. So it was a little confusing. I just had to be careful because I didn't know which one was a truly valid one. Of course, it's after the fact now that I kind of corrected them and kind of try to visualize and learn what the charts are telling me. So this is a new high. It's a first entry long, second entry long, but I also noticed a new low, first entry short, second entry short is about to form. Now, was I thinking going long or was I thinking going short? I was still thinking maybe going short because overall the bias is still going down. So even though it's a second entry long, I'm looking for a failure. The next candle is going to tell me if there's a failed second entry long. Also, it's going to confirm if I have a second entry short. So it still hasn't confirmed it yet. Then here you have a failed second entry long, first entry long, second entry long, failure, first entry short, second entry short, confirmed. So I thought, okay, this is actually probably a decent trade. These are two key entry points. It's a break of this green channel. It made one attempt up. Looks like it made a second attempt up here to test the high, and it failed. And then I was thinking maybe there's going to start another channel here. I didn't have this orange channel drawn yet. Flashes down, but for here now it definitely feels like the trade's too late because it already hit the bottom. The scalp's been made. So to sit and watch, had it been more, I guess, experienced or more aggressive, I might have just put my entry one tick below here. But this wasn't a good enough signal bar. Had it only closed a little bit lower below the EMA, then I think I would have taken the trade. Flashes down. Here I'm drawing this as a potential smaller little channel inside this current green channel because I don't think this orange one's in play anymore, and this red one definitely isn't in play. So I'm thinking I'm inside this green channel. Chops around. I'm also thinking I'm inside this orange channel, inside this green channel. So as you can tell, it's a little confusing for me today. It's a little tricky because I have channels overlapping other channels and no firm dominating big channel. Prices then continue moving. It just gets congested, breaks out, comes back up. It almost tests this larger green channel, comes back. It now breaks through. So here I draw this upward green channel thinking, okay, it's starting to break through. Potentially there's a correction in play. I don't know if it's a full reversal. There may be a correction and it might continue back down. But I just kind of sit and watch price action unfold. Close in this consolidation area. Technically, you have a new high here, first entry long, second entry long. But this is a terrible signal bar. Price then continue moving up. Breaks out now. Starts going down and falling through into this yellow channel. And here, I didn't draw this purple channel right away, but it shows up later. But I was thinking, okay, there's a pretty big whipsaw thing going on. This is a big rally up. I don't know what's going on. I'm just going to sit on my hands. And I see this. It's a new high, first entry long, second entry long. Second entry long, I saw this and I was thinking, the area is a little congested. Look at the size of these bars. I'd rather wait for a higher low confirmation. We technically have a higher low here. But when this one flashes up, the higher low is confirmed here, but now it feels too late to try to take any trades because you're already pushing against the top of this recent high. Prices then continue moving up, falls out, breaks. And so this is actually where I take my, what I call a no reason trade. It doesn't make any sense. And I think what happened is I was emotional. So I saw this break of the green channel. I saw it's not there, but this is what I saw. Again, this isn't a true anything. I saw one push up, pull back, second push up, and then when I saw this big red candle go down, I said, "Oh man, prices are coming back down. It's going to touch, potentially this trend line that I was playing with, debating this actually here. But look how far it is. There's no reason justification for me to do that. And so as I said, there's a no reason trade, brain fart, foolish mistake. I enter. So once this closed, and then this one closed here, I said, well, obviously prices are coming down. I enter short right here. It's not even below here, putting a stop here to ensure a little bit more confirmation. I just entered here, and of course I get stopped out. But then I noticed, okay, this is actually a first entry long, second entry long. But the second entry long is it's bouncing off this potential trend line, this orange one now, but again, it didn't really confirm enough times for me to trust it. So when I saw this, I'm thinking, okay, well, if I believe there's a long, then I got to wait for higher low confirmation. Comes back, and I get my higher low right here. So there's a new low, first entry long, second entry long, comes back, it creates a higher low. So now I'm thinking, okay, I'm probably in this yellow channel that I've established. Prices look like they're slowly reversing because it's making on the bigger screen or bigger time frame higher highs and higher lows all the way up. So I know it was a little bit emotional, but I took a trade one tick above after this big traps everybody and flashes back up because you technically have a new low here, first entry short, second entry short. There's a signal bar. It confirms it right here. So a lot of people might have thought, okay, I'm going to enter one tick below. So it seems like it trapped a lot of short traders and immediately reversed up and stops them all out, potentially if you kept it one tick above. So when I saw this flashing around, I entered right here. I was able to get pretty much the core out. I was pushing it certainly above the highs, but I believe there was enough momentum to push it through for a quick scalp. And then I did have a runner, which I moved to break even. So there's a small little magenta triangle you can see right here. This is where my runner was, and I got stopped out. Prices then continue moving up. It gets really congested here, flashes up. At this point, I'm thinking I still have this purple line a little bit lower, but I was thinking, okay, well, maybe there's a touch at the top. Prices break through this yellow channel, comes back down and hits here. So now I kind of establish it right around what it looks like currently. I thought this might have been a slight overshoot here. Tried as hard as it could to make another overshoot here, but it didn't. It comes back down, and for sure, it looks like there's a pretty good three touch confirmation down here. Prices move up. Then I also like that it was 3-touch confirmation at the top here. This is actually where I take my third trade. So a new high. It's a first entry long pullback. I like the second entry long that's about to form because I thought, actually, this is my fourth trade because there's the first trade here, the no reason trade here, number 2, number 3, and this is actually the fourth trade. I like that as one push up, pull back, and it's the first break of this green channel. It tried once up, and now it's pulling back, and it's stopped, and it's holding against the EMA. On top of that, it's also a clean measure move. So it's one leg up, pull back, second leg up. This I thought was going to be a resistance, but now I'm seeing it as a potential support. So I have 1, 2, second entry long, key entry point, holding on the EMA, holding on this potential previous resistance, and now it's support. So I entered one tick above, and on the same candle, I was able to scalp out. And I also trailed a runner one tick below here. So it's actually my core profit here and my lone runner here. Then prices continue moving. After I was seeing this, and I was thinking, okay, I got 3 trades that are green, 1 trade that's red, but no reason trade. I don't want to push my luck, so I stopped taking any trades after that. But I just kind of kept watching the market. Prices then continue moving down. It was in this yellow channel first, and it broke out, came back in. It's getting pretty choppy. It's touching on the bottom of this purple line, but it breaks out, comes back up. Here I see a potential resistance point. And here was definitely some kind of support. Comes back down. It's not making it back into the purple channel now, and it breaks through. And then it makes this ugly leg here, and it falls into this weird consolidation. These other 2 legs here. I'm a little, to be honest, confused of what the heck's going on. So I'm just kind of sitting on my hands. Chopping through, it looks like it's within this trading range at this point. And yes, there are second entries in here, but nothing that I felt super confident or safe about. So I just kind of sat on my hands and just watched. Then I also saw a new low. It's a first entry short, pulls all the way up. Here, I'm thinking if this is a true trading range, ideally, it wouldn't have this many breaks on the outside, but I did notice the breaks are getting weaker and weaker. So I did think there's a potential trade here. But as I said, I was kind of done for the day. I didn't really want to take any more risk to potentially give back any profits. But I saw this and I saw there's enough room to get back. My concern was it had an overshoot here. Is it going to make a matching overshoot here? When it flashes down, then I thought, okay, there was probably a trade there. I don't know if I want to put an entry here, if I was still trading, because I don't know if it's going to come back for me. And that clearly doesn't come back and just kind of keeps edging down. I draw this green channel. I'm thinking, okay, maybe there's another channel here. And today it's just been like these weird overlapping channels that have been a little bit complicated and not obvious for me to find a big dominant channel. So that was just kind of par for the day. I also saw this as a new high. It's a first entry long, pull back, second entry long. Technically, it's a new high here. It's first entry long, second entry long. But I counted this as one group. This is one leg up, pull back, second leg up. When this flashed up, I saw another trap, and I said, wow, today is just kind of full of traps because it looks like if you went long here, you would have gotten trapped if you didn't think there was some kind of resistance here and flashes down. This also looks like a failed breakout pullback. But here, this is a big candle. If I were still trading, I think I would have put it one tick. It's pretty big, so I'm not sure if I would necessarily put it one tick below here or over here. But it turns out if you put it one tick below here, it's hard to know if you would have gotten filled successfully. And then it looks like it would have worked. So it's kind of hits the support again, and now it's just getting choppy. And it's also getting too late in the day to try to take any trades. And again, I'm just watching this kind of run into the close. So today was kind of an interesting day. I don't think it was an easy day for sure. It was a little tricky because I noticed there was several traps that I mentioned that looked like if you were thinking of going long, it looked like it went one tick in that direction and then reversed on you. Same thing if you're short, it looked like it went one tick in the direction of the short and then reversed on you. So I was a little bit I'm just happy that I came out, I guess, survived today, something like this, because again, I had difficulty finding a real dominant trading channel of any kind to trust. So I ended up with all these tiny overlapping ones, which kind of worked because I was able to find setups, but it wasn't as obvious as other days have been. So hopefully that was helpful.